This is VOA News. I'm Joe Ramsey. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said on Friday Russia cannot be allowed to wage war without punishment.
If we allow, with impunity, Russia to do what it's doing in Ukraine, then that's a message to would-be aggressors everywhere that they may be able to get away with it too.
After meeting with his counterparts from India, Japan, and Australia in New Delhi, the so-called Quad Group issued a statement that said the use or threat of use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine was quote-unquote inadmissible. U.S. President Joe Biden hosts German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Washington on Friday for talks on charting the way ahead in their support for Ukraine after friction over tank deliveries to Kyiv. Scholz's first trip to Washington since February 2022 offers the leaders the opportunity to demonstrate their resolve in backing Ukraine against Russia. A Belarusian court has sentenced Alice Bialyatsky, Belarus's top human rights advocate and one of the winners of the 2022 Nobel Peace Prize, to 10 years in prison. AP correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
The Vyazna Human Rights Center says Bialyatsky and 3 other top figures in Vyazna have been convicted of financing actions violating public order and smuggling. The others have received between 7 and 9 years. Bialyatsky and 2 of his associates were arrested and jailed after massive protests over a 2020 election that gave authoritarian President Alexander Lukashenko a new term in office. The other managed to leave Belarus before he was arrested. In photos from the courtroom released by news agency Belta, Bialyatsky in black clothes looked wan but calm. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
This is VOA News. Nigeria's Electoral Commission has declared Bolo Ahmad Tinubu as the winner of last Saturday's presidential election, but his victory is being challenged by the opposition parties who allege the election was rigged, with many Nigerians denied the chance to vote. Timothy Obuza has the latest from Abuja.
Observers say last Saturday's presidential election was flawed by long delays and technical glitches with newly introduced voter accreditation machines. But INEC said the problem, though regrettable, was not an attempt to manipulate votes. The opposition parties want a redo, but political analysts say that is only possible if they can prove enough votes were manipulated to sway the outcome. Timothy Obizu for VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
A report published by the United Nations on Friday accused Myanmar's military of creating a perpetual human rights crisis in the Southeast Asian country and called for an immediate end to violence there. Since the junta seized power 2 years ago, Myanmar has been plunged into chaos, with a resistance movement fighting the military on multiple fronts after a bloody crackdown on opponents that saw Western countries reimpose sanctions. A new crew has arrived at the International Space Station, AP correspondent Donna Warder reports.
NASA TV recorded the docking, which occurred at 1:40 a.m. Eastern Time.
Dragon SpaceX on the big loop, soft capture confirmed.
SpaceX Dragon copies. Thank you.
The SpaceX capsule and its 4 astronauts had to wait some 65 feet from the orbiting lab as flight controllers in California scrambled to come up with a software fix for a malfunctioning capsule docking hook. The new crew is from the United States, Russia, and United Arab Emirates. Sultan Al Nayati is only the second person from the UAE to rocket into orbit. I'm Donna Warder.
The United Nations Food Agency's World Price Index fell in February for an 11th consecutive month and is down 19% from a record high hit last March following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Food and Agricultural Organization's monthly update said the decline in the index reflected lower prices for vegetable oils and dairy products, which more than offset a steep rise in sugar prices. Vegetable oils fell 3.2% and dairy 2.7%, while sugar rose nearly 7% to a 6-year high due largely to a downward revision to production in India. Find more at voanews.com. I'm Joe Ramsey, VOA News.
Please subscribe, like, or comment. Thank you.